You ever been the new kid? That feeling of being dropped into a totally alien world? Well, today we're going to crack open the new kid's survival guide, and we're seeing it all through the sketchbook of its hero, Jordan Banks.
And boom, right away, we're seeing this whole thing through Jordan's eyes. For him, this isn't just some trip to a new school. He calls it falling. I mean, that one word just perfectly captures all the anxiety and the total lack of control he's feeling.
All right, so let's meet our guide. He's an artist, and his first chapter is literally titled The War of Art. So you know right there, for Jordan, that sketchbook of his, it's not just for doodling. It's his way of figuring things out, and honestly, sometimes it's how he survives.
So yeah, we're following 12-year-old Jordan Banks, and his superpower, it's not what you think. It's his sketchbook. That's how he makes sense of everything. It's his lens, his shield, it's his whole deal. Okay, so every hero's journey has to start somewhere, right? For Jordan, it's this daily bus ride, a ride that feels less like a commute and more like crossing an international border.
And look at this. This map just says it all. We're not just talking about a few miles here. We're talking about two completely different worlds. He's leaving his home turf and heading into this totally unknown territory, Riverdale Academy.
So he finally gets there, and you know what he figures out? The real test isn't going to be on some piece of paper. Nope. It's in the hallways. It's in the lunchroom. He's got to learn the unwritten rules of what he calls the Hungry Games. So what's his first move? He starts taking field notes, and the very first thing he tries to document, it's just so perfect, is the handshake. He breaks it down like he's a scientist in a lab.
And you want to know the number one most important rule: no cold hands, no sweaty hands. But the absolute worst thing you can do? The dead fish. He's never even felt one, but he just knows it's the ultimate crime. You can just feel the anxiety coming off the page, right? Okay, so you managed not to give a dead fish handshake. Congrats! But now you're facing the next boss level, the question that defines your entire social life. Where on earth are you supposed to sit?
And this is where Jordan really shines. He literally draws a map of the entire cafeteria. This isn't just a floor plan, you guys. It's a guide to the entire social food chain of the school.
So let's look at this social food chain. Up at the top, you've got the lions. Those are the senior athletes. Of course, they get the cool corner with the windows. Then a little farther down the chain, you find the worms. You know, the kids in the dorky clubs. And then, way at the bottom, right next to the trash cans, that's where Jordan and the other 7th and 8th graders are. Their awesome nickname? Toenail Fungus. Ouch. So, just when Jordan's starting to figure out the map of this place, the school decides to throw a massive wrench in his plans. There's a mandatory rule, and it's going to pull him right out of his comfort zone on the sidelines. He's got two options. Option A, go out for the school musical. Option B, join a sports team. And since Jordan's the first to admit, I can't sing, well, that pretty much makes the decision for him. So his brain immediately jumps to football, right? Classic school sport. But his sketchbook, his sketchbook paints a very different picture. We're talking a literal tombstone that says, died violently. Yeah. So football's going to be a hard pass. But okay. Thankfully, there are other choices. You got cross-country, volleyball, there's even competitive yoga, which he points out is, and I quote, no joke. Then there's ultimate frisbee and soccer. In the end, he goes with soccer, and it's really because of some simple advice from his friend Liam, who just tells him, all you need is a pair of feet. Sometimes that's all you need to hear, right? Just that little push to get you on the field. And this is where it all comes together. After all this, mapping the social hierarchy, surviving the sports dilemma, Jordan starts to realize something. That thing that makes him different, his art, maybe it's not a liability. Maybe it's actually his greatest asset. So think about it. You're dropped into this new world, a world full of lions and worms and the terrifying possibility of a dead fish handshake. If you're an artist, an observer, how do you possibly survive? And this is the big shift. This is the key. He stops seeing his sketchbook as a shield and starts using it as a map. And that's a huge difference, right? A shield is defensive. You just hide behind it and hope nothing hits you. But a map is empowering. A map lets you navigate. It lets you understand the world around you, find your own way, and maybe, just maybe, draw a whole new place for yourself on it. And that's what he does.